one, and boom.
It's your opportunity. Your opportunity.
See, that's why Viking fans are just better than Packer fans, right there. Encapsulated in one comment by Jason. To be 5-0, and that's your lead comment. Kudos to you, Jason. You sound like a fine human being.
Yo, the lies told that you never make it. Hopeless, so it seems. Eyes closed, canvas open wide to embrace your dreams. Sometimes you gotta take a loss just to get the win. Like lots of sin was popping in like oxygen when boxes wet. Focus on the mental, never lose like a smooth instrumental. Better choose on the move in a pinto. Choose what I get to, never lose smooth on the move, but it's simple. Never give up and we running it, maybe. We just keep winning, we conquering daily. Envision and pay me, it's never the sway me. Indigenous, maybe we winning this crazy. Your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity. This your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity. This your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity. This your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity.
That's right. It's your opportunity. It's your opportunity to spend the next hour right here talking about NFL football, specifically Russell Wayne and the Detroit Lions and NFL football, because this is the main event football show. I'm your host, Main Event Mike. This show brought to you by NFLshop.com. Go to NFLshop.com and scan that QR code you see on your screen. You'll get 25% off. Oh, wait, 30% off now. Special, it's not running for long. 30% off any NFL gear. Use the Villain Squad code and save 30%. That's what the show is brought to you by. We are broadcasting into Facebook. Lions Villain Squad. 55,000 villains now. Also broadcasting live into Detroit Lions News Podcast, thanks to Joe Chapp and the boys. Also broadcasting live into YouTube at Villain Squad and at JC Sports. So a couple of different ways of YouTube you can get in there. We're also broadcasting live into the Huddle Sports Zone on Roku TV. This is the main event. It is I, Mike, with you as always, 1 week apart on Mondays. This is the bye week. This is the bye week where we make jokes about how the Lions still lost, even though it was the bye week. You know, the Lions are 0-40 on the bye week every year. Well, not this year, not anymore, because this team is not the same old Lions, right? This team is ready. Now it's the bye week. It's all positives because you know why? We're 3-1. And let's face it, on that one loss, we gave that game to Tampa. 1 for 7 in the red zone. If we score one more time in the red zone, this whole narrative changes. Oh, it's wonderful. The Vikings are 5-0. Kudos to the Vikings and their fans for being 5-0. But I wonder how different it would feel if the Lions were 4-0. I know we'll never know because they lost the game. I get it. But if you look in the stat columns, we destroyed Tampa up and down the field in every statistical category. We just couldn't get it done. Jared Goff had a bad game. So much of this game predicated on football, on quarterback play, as we talk about all the time. But kudos to them for being 5-0. But what we're going to talk about on the program today is, yes, but let's take a little deeper dive into this 5-0. And let's take a little deeper dive into this Chicago 3-2 and this Green Bay Packers 3-2. But this is a weird week in the NFC North, especially for Lions fans. But before we do that, we definitely want to talk about the big news that just happened a few minutes ago, and that is the Detroit Tigers baseball in the playoff game against the Cleveland Guardians. They have evened the series at 1-1, in case you didn't know by now. It just happened a few minutes ago. Kerry Carpenter hit a 3-run shot in the 9th inning, and then Bo Brisky came in and shut the door on to 3 straight batters, a 1-2-3 inning, and that closed it out. They go back to Detroit now for 2 games. They went 17 innings without scoring a run against Cleveland, who had the division sewed up a couple of weeks ago. So it's not looking good up until that 9th inning. We Kerry Carpenter with one swing of the bat gives them a 3-run cushion that they would not let go of in the 9th inning. They go back to Detroit with the series even 1-1. You got to like the Tigers' chances. If it makes it to Game 5, Tariq Skubal will be back on the mound in Cleveland for a Game 5, and he was stellar today. He allowed 0 runs, and I think he had 3 hits. Three hits all day against Cleveland. This guy's won the Triple Crown in pitching. He's a shoo-in for the Cy Young. I don't even think it's a question at this point. He's going to win the Cy Young. And we are riding our ace to a big win on the road against one of the best teams in baseball. This is big news, folks. 2024 might be shaping up to be a magical year. Not just for the Lions. Maybe even not just for the Tigers and Lions. Maybe the Red Wings are young core. 5-6 years into it now for Steve Yzerman. At what point do we pull the plug on this? At what point do we stop saying we're all Yzerman slappies and we'll do whatever he said? We need to see a winner. And they've got a good young core. The Red Wings could make some noise this year as well. It's a good time to be a Lions fan. It's a great time to have Lions fans in our chat as well. Let's see who we got. Jason MC from Skull Nation says Lions are the champs until proven otherwise. Not getting ahead of myself. See, now that right there separates you from Packer fans, Jason. Right there. You're not beating your chest and looking down your nose at anyone. Well, maybe that's because you still got to play the Lions twice. I don't know. But we also have Brent in the house. So we're going to miss Derek Barnes for the rest of the year, or is there a chance he can come back early? Such a great comment. I'll let you know. I watched Dan Campbell's presser today, as I'm sure you did as well, and he was asked specifically about Derek Barnes. And it wasn't good. He would not go so far as to say he's not coming back. But he did say, and I quote, "We would be pretty fortunate if he came back." So I think as fans, we need to just put that out of our mind. We're running without him. And that was the news on Derek Barnes. However, there was some very good news about Frank Ragnow and Brian Branch. They were spotted at practice by the media. So Dan Campbell was asked about those two players. And like Russell Wayne said earlier when we were talking, that Frank Ragnow, Brian Branch, these are two of the best players on the Lions on each side of the ball. Just absolute linchpins to us being successful. And they were spotted on practice, and he said it looks like they're going to play. Says he believes they're going to play. It's looking good right now, he says. So let's hope that Ragnow and Branch do play. But thanks for that comment, though. Also in the chat today, Brent says, hey, guys, Ken Fisher in the house. Tigers win today, 3-0 on Kerry Carpenter's 3-run homer in the ninth. Coming home to Detroit with a series tie. We get 2 games at home for sure now. Go Tigers, right? Playoff baseball in Detroit, folks. They're playing baseball in October in Detroit. Such a good call out. Ken Fisher in the house. Detroit, JC Sports. What else we got here? What else we got? Jordan.
That's 30% off.
The whole division knew the assignment this week. Win and become the top division in the league. And I don't think there's a question about that either, Jordan. Let's talk about that for a second. We talked about it this morning on the Villain Report with Russell Wayne at 10 a.m. I hope you were there. If you weren't, you can be there tomorrow because he goes 6 days a week at 10 a.m. on this very network. We're talking about football. But, Russell brought that up. That is this still the best, division in football? I mean, at the beginning of the year, we said it was AFC North. But Cleveland, they look terrible. Their quarterback looks terrible. That defense, which we thought was at least going to keep them in it like last year, looks terrible. No Joe Flacco to come in and bail you out. Instead, he's bailing out the Colts. So I'm taking the Browns out of the running right now. And let's talk about the Bengals. They're 1-4. Oh, the Bengals always start slow. So they're 1-4, folks. That's a deep hole to come out of, especially when you got to play the Ravens again. Ravens are the real deal. You can run away with it. We're talking about the division as a whole. Pittsburgh goes down again to a tough team. Okay, I'll give you that. But you got Justin Fields at quarterback. How am I going to lump you in as one of the, toughest divisions in football when Justin Fields is the quarterback? No, I don't think so. I don't. Pittsburgh is a good team, but they're not enough to sway the pendulum for the AFC North to be tougher than the NFC North. No way. So you're basically looking at the Ravens and maybe a couple clawing at their heels. NFC North, completely different story. All 4 teams could win this division. Seems mind-blowing to say that now after the way we were at the beginning of the season. But all 4 of these teams could win this division. One thing going for them is they've got these nice little records. They all have winning records, but they haven't had to play each other much. Right? Green Bay, Minnesota, they had 1 game in division so far in the NFC North. They're going to cannibalize each other as these coming weeks start to unfold. We don't get them until week 7 and week 9. The Bears in week 7, I believe, is the next division game for the Detroit Lions. So, I mean, I don't think there's a question, Jordan. The NFC North is the toughest division in football. And, Dan Campbell was asked about it at his press conference today. And he wouldn't go so far as to say it, but he did say that is what we said at the beginning of the year, that this was going to be that everybody got better. And who knew that Sam Darnold?
Donald Schwarzenegger. You should have believed in Donald Schwarzenegger.
Who knew that Donald Schwarzenegger would come in and save the day for the Vikings? So please welcome to the program right now. It's Darnold Schwarzenegger. Hello, Darnold.
Come on. We tried hard. Now we are 5-0. You took my hand, and that led you to 5-0. The Vikings.
You took my hand.
You took my hand and tried hard.
Yes. Brent says Viking fans are a class act. They still come on the show and they don't do well. Right. They don't go into a hole and hide. Elise Memes. Go check out her page. She's the queen of memes. Good evening, friends. Just watch the end of that Tigers game. Whoop. Got that. Brian in the house. Welcome to the show, Brian. Let's go, baby. LM, welcome to the show. Jerome, our good old friend. Hey, brother, what's happening? Glad to see all of you villains here. And if you're watching this on a recorded version, if you're down in the feed and you're watching this, we appreciate you too. Please click the like button, just like you guys watching right now. I don't know if you know, we don't make any money doing this. The only thing we get paid on is these little engagements. If you can just click the like button, it really helps us a lot. It doesn't cost you a thing. Broski Bear, everyone was getting so happy over busting field goal, and the Steelers starting 3-0, blink, and they're now 3-2. Right, Broski? And we were kind of hinting at that a few weeks ago too. It's like, ooh, 3-0, Justin Fields. How you feeling now, Bears? But it's Justin Fields. We never went too far with that. Everyone was getting so happy. I don't know. That might be a little overreach. I think there was always some trepidation there because Justin Fields was the same. He's the same thing now as he was when he was in Pittsburgh. He could beat you single-handedly or he could tank the game. That's how it's going to be. The guy is incredibly athletic and the hands down the slipperiest guy I've ever seen in a pocket. Randall Cunningham, yeah, he's great. Aaron Rodgers, yeah, they were good. But nobody was more slippery in the pocket than Justin Fields, and to this day. He takes so many sacks, too. Tells you how bad those offensive lines were for him. Yeah. I don't know what you're talking about, Brent. That was actually a soundbite. Broski says he predicted all 4 teams would finish between 8 and 10. Well, got a long way to go. Still got to play the Lions, everybody. But I don't do all this madness by myself. I also have a compadre, a cohort, if you will. And he's the man behind the glass. Please welcome to the program our producer, Russell Wayne. How you doing, Russ?
I'm doing good. I have no idea what those people are talking about. The pre-recorded stuff that we have in here.
Right.
All kinds of special guests that are in here.
In fact, we have a very special guest going to be on later on the show today as well. So put it in the comments. I want to know what you think on some of these topics. And the first one I want to talk about is, do you think that the Lions approached last week's game against Seattle as a revenge game? Do you think they cared? Do you think these players care about that much? Or is it just another game and it doesn't matter who it is? We're going to get up and we're going to prepare, all these cliches. We're going to prepare for everybody just the same. What do you think, Russell Wayne, on that? Do you think they looked at Seattle as a revenge game?
You know what's funny is I don't think they do at all. Because, think about it. Carlton Davis, Terrion Arnold, Rakestraw, Levi, DJ Reader, those guys weren't even on the team. Like they were on the sideline. They were in a different place. So it's like, I think they approached it like a formidable, NFC opponent that is going to be there probably at the end of the year when it comes to, wild card spots and maybe even winning that division. So it's like they approached it like that. I think they approached it like, look, we need to get out ahead of this team and we need to play with the lead. And I think that they executed their game plan.
That's such a good take, Russ. And, the villains are in tune with what we're laying down here today. I can just tell by the comments. Jason says they did care, but not as much as they're going to care for Dallas. And that's exactly where I'm going with this, Jason.
Yes.
And then Brent, they really wanted to win a lot. I get that. But it goes back to more about what Brian is saying. How many games did they lose to them? Right. It's not just they wanted to win a lot. They had lost 6 in a row to this team. Taylor Decker, before Dan Campbell even got here, had never beat Seattle. And now Dan Campbell, a conference non-divisional opponent that's on your schedule all first 3 years of you being a coach, and you go 0-3. Does that play into it? Yeah, they wanted to win a lot, Brent. But do you think that there was extra motivation? I think for sure. And I think we saw the evidence when Jared Goff said it on a radio program a couple weeks ago when asked about being the team everybody's gunning for. He made it clear, no, they were out to avenge the losses from last year. Let's face it, just a couple of those games we get back. And the series runs through, the whole playoffs run through Detroit. That's huge, folks. That's huge. And now coming up, Dallas Cowboys. Controversial loss last year. the players, the coaches, the fans, everybody up in arms about the Dallas loss. 100% you could take it to the bank. This is a revenge game coming up for the Lions. So tell me, Russ, you don't think there's a revenge factor with Seattle because there's so many new faces? Do you think that the Dallas game's the same thing, business as usual for pro football players?
Well, Taylor Decker and the Gypsy King, Dan Skipper, are still on the team, and they remember it, and they remember it very, very well because they were the main people on that play, and they know that was such a table turning. I mean, think of the implications of that call, and it's like, but you can't complain about it. You got to go out and they won the game. You had 2 more chances after that, but yeah, I absolutely think they marked this. They circled it on the calendar, and they may play a little bit harder. They may, be a little more violent with, how they attack. Yeah. So that definitely in the Dallas game more than the Seattle game.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I like that. At least Meme says they just wanted the Seahawks off their back. The Cowboys would be the revenge game. So I think that's kind of encapsulates what you're saying there, right?
Ooh, we haven't beaten you in a while is one thing, but the way that you beat us the last time. Ooh,
right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, no, look at the schedule here. We actually don't play Minnesota until week 7. So, so coming up right after the Dallas games, it's going to be that showdown with the Minnesota Vikings
to get ready for us, man.
Right.
And Minnesota Vikings.
Week 7.
And that's the way it should be.
Yeah, so I was way off on that. I was way off on that Chicago thing. It's Minnesota week 7. It is week 7 and 9. And then it's at Green Bay Lambeau Field at week 9. And then it's week 13 against Chicago in Detroit for Thanksgiving.
What I love about this is because this is the best division in football, these division games are going to be so epically big as it pertains to where seeding is. And I mean, we may beat on each other and someone else may get a 1 seed because we're so tough on each other, because it looks like we're whooping up on all the out of division teams for the most part. It's only division games. We're the black and blue division. And yeah, it's going to be huge. I mean, Minnesota may go beat every other teams, but they may go 2-4 in the division. You never know. But that's why that division win they have over Green Bay, it's such a huge win. It's a huge win because this is going to be a hard division to win.
Mm-hmm. There is one other undefeated team in the NFL. That's the Kansas City Chiefs. They will play against New Orleans Saints in that bum Derek Carr tonight on Monday Night Football. It should be an interesting one here, Russ. I wanted to get your thoughts and the villains as well. Put it in the chat. Tell me who you like tonight. The line on that game is 5.5. Kansas City is at home. They're minus 5.5 against New Orleans. And New Orleans playing good football, leading the league in points scored. Derek Carr's having a good season so far. I like to make fun of him all the time, but they're playing really good, and their defense is playing really good. 5.5 is a lot of points. I took Kansas City. If you don't follow this show or the Villain Report in the morning show, we do a prediction every Thursday, and we predict all the games. And Russ took Kansas City minus the 5.5, or excuse me, Russ took New Orleans and got the 5.5, and I took Kansas City minus the 5.5. So that is going to see who comes out on top for the predictions. So actually, there's nothing you can do, Russ. I beat you.
You got me?
I won 6 out of 14. I got right. So if I hit tonight, I'll go 50%. You, on the other hand, had a bad week, my friend. You hit 4 out of 14.
Oh, my gosh.
Which I have never seen you pick that low ever. And if New Orleans wins tonight, you'll salvage a respectable 5.
I'm out of touch, Mike. Yeah, I'm out of touch. No, I mean, yeah, everybody has a down week, right?
Yeah.
That's it's been a while since I've had one. I think I'm gonna bounce back though. I'm gonna get a bounce back.
Well, hey, you might have some good luck on your side because Elise Memes is hoping for a Saints win. Because she hates Patrick Mahomes with a passion.
Hey, the Saints play good defense, and Derek Carr has what every quarterback's best friend is, and that's a running game. And Alvin Kamara is amazing, and as long as he's got that going on, then that bum, yeah, he's actually a pretty good quarterback when he's within his structure.
Ken Fisher agrees with me. He says KC by 10.
There you go. That bomb.
I do have a Mark Ingram autograph picture on my wall though. So
and an Emmy nomination, right? Where's the Emmy? Where's the Emmy at?
That's right there, baby. That's the Emmy nomination right there. And right next to my fantasy football league trophy that I get to keep for a year. That's that Cracker Jack Emmy. You're watching The Main Event football show on the Villain Squad Network, brought to you by NFLShop.com. The Villain Squad Network is an official marketing partner of NFLShop.com. Be sure to scan our QR code and save 30% on anything that you buy from NFLShop.com. Even if you want to buy a Packers jersey. If you want to create a Jordan Love voodoo doll and you need a little mini Packers jersey for him, you can order that off NFL Shop. And I encourage it. Elise says, congrats on your Emmy nomination, Mike. Well deserved. Yeah, it was 2010, but thank you. My show was actually nominated for an Emmy this year, but it wasn't anything to do with me or the hosting. It was the editor that was nominated for an Emmy on my show this year. And you can see my show if you have public television. It's called The Melody Grill, and it premieres nationwide on public television. If anybody still has public television, I don't know about that. But it'll be airing. Check your local listings for a public television station near you for The Melody Grill starting in November. There's my shameless plug for the week right there. I get to give myself a shameless
I wish
plug.
I had something to go with it. I need your boys. I need your people to call my people.
That's okay. It's a football show. It's not a cooking and music show. If you like cooking shows, you might like it. If you like bad jokes,
you got to get into that grilling. Yeah, we went on a bunch of those tailgates, dude. They had all kinds of food in there. I bet you could teach them some stuff. If you know what I mean.
I am a certified grill master by Weber Grills. And I could teach anybody something about grilling. I don't care if you've been grilling forever. There's things that you learn, and not everybody knows everything. Someone could teach me something. I used to tell people never smash a burger. And now they came out with what? Smash burgers.
Hey, Beavis. Oh man, you were asking me earlier how to set up this impression, and I'm going, man, what am I going to do? How are we going to do this? And the thing is, I think I should just set it up and just kind of let everybody know about this. So we got a special guest that we want to come on here, right? And The Rock has been a friend of the show for a little while, and I've been working on this little impression. And this impression was inspired by the 1999 Sunday Night Heat, where The Rock was talking about Billy Gunn. So I want to get that set up, and we'll do this the right way if you're ready. Finally, The Rock has come back to the main event. Jerry Jones, let The Rock understand this for a second. Last year, the villain beat your ass in AT&T Stadium, and you decided to steal something from the villain that didn't belong to you. And this week, you're walking around like you're the number one contender for the Lombardi. Well, The Rock knows why that is. It's because Jerry Jones has a 3-foot nose and he sticks it straight up the referee's ass. And now on to you, Cowboy Dak Prescott. And let The Rock emphasize boy. The Rock understands what took place the night that you found out that the villain was coming back to Dallas. You got down on your hands and knees and you put your little hands together and you said a little prayer and it sounded something like this. Oh, dear God, my name is Dak Prescott and my team just paid me more money than any NFL player. But there's one problem. The villain, the fans, and everybody know that I absolutely suck. And right then, your house started to shake. And God himself spoke to you. And he said, Billy? And he said, but my name is Dak. It doesn't matter what your name is. Dak Prescott, The Rock says this at AT&T Stadium, week 6, 1 seed or no 1 seed, the villain is going to do to you exactly what he does best, and that is lay the smackdown on your candy ass. You smell what The Rock is cooking. Yeah. The Rock's cool. Shut up, dumbass. I'm trying to see The Rock. He's cool. The Lions are cool. Well, thank you. It's great having, celebrity guests that can come on here.
The Rock, ladies and gentlemen.
The Rock.
The Rock on the Main Event Football Show. Great job, Russell. That was awesome. The animation was the big hand of God was killing me.
It doesn't matter.
You got some love in the comments. Jason says, well done. At least I don't understand this one. Gun Guy says, take your pants off. Does that have something to do with The Rock, or did Gun Guy put this in the wrong chat?
Sometimes
Gun Guy, are you running two chats
like button? We tell people to hit the like button, and sometimes you don't have to hit the like button if you've stumbled on, walking around naked guy. I mean, you could have just landed on the wrong. Oh, it's football talk. I thought you guys were talking about something else.
Right. Tina, are you still with us? She comes in talking about football at that moment. We're talking about wrestling, but no, it was a really awesome impression, Russ. I just couldn't contain my laughter through the whole thing. Tina says, I'm a Detroit Lions fan and my husband is a Cowboys fan. It gets interesting at our house when they play against each other. We live in Minnesota now, but we're not Vikings fans. Well, I'll tell you what, he's probably had the upper hand on you, 6 times in a row now? How many games has it been since we've beaten the Cowboys? Been a long, since the playoff game, right? We haven't beat them since we beat them.
This is a monkey. This is one of those. This is a revenge game,
right?
Especially with the way that it ended on the last one. It's like, they marked it on the schedule. It would be awful if they would lose this game. But I hope that we can come through and we can bulldoze that team because,
Tina, I can assure you, though, if the Lions do win this game, come back on the program next Monday at 7 p.m. and we will give you a good list of zingers to give your husband to fire back. Because Cowboys, let's face it, Cowboys are easy targets. So we can definitely come up with some ammunition for you in those arguments. But thank you so much for being on the show. Jason says Quezzy is cooking up Flores special orders. I see what you did there, Jason. It's a cooking show. Ken says Macho Man will bring his mighty elbow down on the Cowgirls this week. Yeah, we're gonna see. I'm pretty sure you're gonna hear the Macho Man this week on the Villain Report at 10 a.m. on this network. If you do,
I'm sure of it.
So let's take a look now at this NFC North. The 3-2 Chicago Bears is where we'll start. First game, they beat Tennessee and Will Levis, who blew a 17-point lead at halftime. Special teams and the defense bail them out. and they go 1-0. Week 2, they go to Houston and they lose by only 6 points. And then third week, they go to Indy on the road and lose 21-16. A game they certainly should have won. Their offense sputtered and couldn't get it going. Kind of a trend there. Now they get two home games in a row, and they get 2 wins in a row. Versus the Rams, 24-18. And versus the Carolina Panthers, they drubbed them 36-10. During that stretch, the Chicago Bears scored 113 points and allowed 85 points. That's good, folks. That's a nice point differential. Okay. Something that all of these teams have going for them. However, the Los Angeles Rams, who they beat, 1-3. Indianapolis Colts, who they beat, 1-3. Excuse me, they lost to the Indianapolis Colts. That's who Indy beat. Carolina Panthers, 1-3. Tennessee, 1-3. No, 2 now. 2 now? No, just still 1-3. They beat Miami. It was the only time they won, right? So, Chicago Bears, I would be a little cautious. You haven't played anyone in division yet. What we've already established is the hardest division in football. I have to admit, though, we saw this at the beginning of the year, that the Bears' schedule was lining up to where, hey, this is going to be good for a young quarterback to not have to face the Packers and the Lions and some of the other hard teams that are on their schedule at the end of the year. So they come out of it 3-2. You got to be happy with that. But I wouldn't be too overly optimistic. You haven't scored more than 24 points in a game, and Caleb Williams just had his best game as a pro with a 126 passer rate. In the last game, Caleb goes 20 of 29, 2 touchdowns, and a 126.2 passer rating. He's by far his best game as a pro. So maybe he's getting it together. But the Detroit Lions, they have played 2 playoff teams that they beat in the playoffs, the Rams and the Bucks. I get the Rams are 1-3 now, but they had Cooper Kupp in that game, and they had a beat-up offensive line on the first game of the season. But we beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, another playoff team. Go out to Arizona and beat a Arizona team that just beat the Niners.
They didn't beat the
So it's
Buccaneers.
that guy who's going to push 2 buttons and he don't know what to do. You know, is beating the Niners a big deal, or the Niners aren't the same this year if you're a Vikings fan? Because we're not going to give you as much credit for that Niners win if that's the truth. Let's look at what Minnesota has done. All 5 they've beaten, of course. At New York Giants, 28-6. Oh, one thing before we close on Chicago. And actually, I want to get Russ's thoughts on Chicago before we move on to the next team. Chicago Bears 3-2, 3 home games, 2 road losses. Is that what we're going to see from Caleb Williams in this Bears team? They're going to change their name to the Chicago Raccoons because they get killed on the road. Go ahead, Russ. What do you think about the Chicago Bears being 3-2? Are they breakers or fakers?
I think they're getting better. I mean, they're a young team. Their defense is awesome. They got a great defense that can keep them in any game that they're going to be in. And Caleb Williams is a rookie. He's got to get better. The game seems to be slowing down for him a little bit. And so what? He's got a cupcake schedule. You know, they've beaten some easy teams. What do you want them to do? Lose to the bad teams? It's like, no. And then you're looking at this.
And that's the thing. They beat a bad Carolina team, but they beat them badly.
Yeah. So they beat. Yeah. That's what I mean. It's like, what do you want? What do you want them to do to the bad teams other than beat their ass? And then they're gonna go play this Jaguars team that seems to be reeling, and then this Commanders team. That's going to be an interesting game. That'll be a nice test for them with both of the young quarterbacks playing each other.
Yeah, one that we pointed to at the beginning of the year, Jaden Daniels and Caleb Williams head-to-head, the 1-2 pick. Heck yeah.
Cardinals, I mean, Patriots, those are all better, chances for them to win those games. I mean, it's not as crazy as the division games. I think the division games are the hardest games that the Bears are going to play. Is all of the division games. It's like the Bears better take care of the Jaguars, the Commanders, because gosh, I feel like in this division, it's going to be a bunch of 3-3s. Like, I feel like it's going to be like, okay.
Right. Rock and
like
sock robots in the division.
I'm going to get you once. You're going to get me once. I'm thinking there may not be any sweeps. That's what it looks.
Right.
There's no way Green Bay is going to beat that Chicago team twice.
They've beaten them with 11, 12 straight games.
Is this the year? Year? I'm on Chicago's side this time.
You're on team Caleb.
I'm on team Caleb to get the victory. Finally get the victory. One victory. I'm not talking a sweep, but I'm just talking about getting rid of that. Wait, 10 in a row? Come on, guys.
I think it's 11. It's 11.
The sun shines on a dog's ass some days. I mean, the sun can shine on their ass.
Yeah, we got to move on to these Vikings, though, because we got some Vikings fans in the chat who are making some really good points here, like Jason, who says another weakness the Vikings have is Aaron Jones' durability. He's been hurt the last couple of years for a few stretches in each of the years. But he says, I'm not sure Ty Chandler will have the same respect from defenses that Aaron Jones gets. So Jones must stay healthy. That's such a good call out. Running back, such a hard position to stay healthy at. Okay. Aaron Jones, I think Kevin O'Connell has done a good job. I'm not that worried about it, Jason, because Kevin O'Connell's such a good play caller. I think he's going to be able to keep his running back healthy. I mean, obviously injury happens, but they're not going to be pounding him between the tackles for 20 carries every game. That's just not the running back that he is. So I think there's a very good chance he can stay healthy.
You know what I love about this win that they just had, and I did hit this morning, but the Jets are a grimy team, like defensively, to do stuff against this Jets team. And I was telling you this last week, Viking fan, that you're going to have to win just a hard, sludgy game that's just going to be hard to move people around and score and do things. That's the way that the Jets play. They make you win ugly. And you won an ugly game. You needed to win an ugly game. You got a defensive stop at the end when you needed to get a defensive stop.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations on getting that win, because you have to be able to win like that. You don't win all of those games, but you won that game. That was a good battle of will. And when you even look at the stats on that game, you can even see it. Just grimy yards, 253. Neither team got to 300 yards in total yards. It was just two bulls just pushing each other back and forth. Love it. When you can win games like that, I think that you can win playoff games, because you have to be tough enough. You have to have the up front line guys to stand up to, a big defensive line like the Jets have.
That's a good take. Yeah, I love that point. The Minnesota Vikings. Now, we talked about the Bears having kind of a softer schedule. And you could say the same thing about the Vikings. This is what happens when you finish last in your division, when you finish down near the bottom. You still got to play the same conference, other division games like the other teams in your division, but you get them at home this time. They beat San Francisco and Houston, two really good teams, respectable, but they were fortunate enough to get both of those at US Bank Stadium. Whereas the Lions have to play both of those teams on the road.
Yeah.
So kudos to Minnesota for getting all 5 of these under their belt. They get the 3 at home against Houston, San Francisco, and technically the Jets game in London was considered a home game. So
Let's look at that.
Very fortunate to get that. And then on the road, you beat Green Bay in Lambeau. Congrats, Skull Nation, for defeating the evil empire.
I mean,
that's Lions fans have to push that button. Do we want the Vikings to go 4-0, or do we want someone to beat Green Bay like we always do? Well, I think it was unanimous that most Lions fans wanted Green Bay to lose. That was better. Green Bay losing was better for us than it didn't matter that they were going to be 4-0 for some reason. That's just how it felt. And so there they are at 5-0. Sarah says,
yeah, look at that schedule.
Sarah comes
man.
in with an elbow. Y'all lost to the Bucks.
Impressive. Yeah, you said we won the Bucks. I think that you meant to say the Rams when you were saying that, but
yeah. Oh, did I miss? Okay, my bad.
Yeah, you said that. I did say something, but it went over your head. But the Vikings, you can't complain about the quality of win. It's like there they are with, I mean, I think 3 quality wins when you really look at it. You know, three. I mean, the Texans, 49ers, and the Packers. That's
3. That's definitely 3.
Enough for me. That's enough for me to say that it's not a fluke. You know, Brian Flores was doing a lot with not a lot last year. You know, give him some talent like Van Ginkel and Grenard, drafting Turner, and you know, you're just you're stacking talent, and within that scheme, that Brian Flores.
Do you have Minnesota's schedule you can put up on the screen?
I did.
Yeah, can we look at that one more time? So they get the bye week this week.
Right.
And you know they're going to be watching Jordan Addison this week. What is Jordan Addison going to do on the bye week? Somebody better chain him to a chair. They get the bye week this week, and then of course week 7 again. They're back at home. See, look at that.
Yep.
That's 4 out of 6 at home at the beginning of the schedule against the Detroit Lions. And after that, they do go out west and play the Rams. But so far, the Rams are 0-3 against the NFC North. 3 of their 4 losses have come against the NFC North.
Well, are you going to get the receivers back by then? Are you going to get Puka Nacua or is that a season ender? I mean, are they going to get any of those guys back?
I don't know, but this would be the 4th game for Puka, so he would be eligible to come back. I have not heard about that, but that is something that we'll look into as we get closer to that game.
Right.
Well, by then, we're talking about October 24th. Yeah, I would think Puka and Cooper Kupp might be back by then.
I mean, but look at that schedule. You got the Colts. You got a beat up Rams team. The Jaguars ain't been with.
Right, that's where I'm going with this.
Titans. And then they get into the division games, but then they get the Cardinals late, Falcons. That I look forward to that one. That's a strong on strong. I like the criticisms that they were throwing in the comments about their own team. You brought up somebody.
They're going to have the Bears twice, and Cardinals, but other than that, I mean, Falcons are looking like a good team. Seahawks are a good team. Packers, good team. Lions, good team. Going to be a tough way to end the season schedule-wise for those Vikings. Because, injury happens to everyone. And every team suffers it. And especially in the defensive secondary, Minnesota is not deep in the defensive secondary. So
what do you think? Right here, there's the January 5th. The Lions are playing the Vikings. Is that for the division title?
Well, you can see that it says TBD there, to be determined, so that the league has the option to flex that into prime time if that is the case, Russ.
Well, yeah, and the Vikings are 5-0, and as long as the Lions don't shit the bed, that's a pretty good start to moving towards that game, meaning quite a bit.
Right. And Jason points out that Falcons is the Kirk Cousin revenge game. Kirk Cousin go back to U.S. Bank. How about some drama there? Gotta love that.
Like that.
You like that, right?
You like that.
Yeah, they're going to put a tether on Jordan Addison this weekend. Right on. Put it in the comments. Tell us what you think. We're actually about to wrap this thing up here, but we appreciate everybody watching today. We didn't get to Green Bay. We'll run through it real quick. Green Bay 3-2 also.
We still got time.
They lost in Brazil to Philly to start the season. Then they beat Indy at home. And then they beat the Titans away. And then they lost in Lambeau to Minnesota, as we said. And last week, a come-from-behind win. Jordan Love looked like the second coming of Tom Brady in the fourth quarter to overcome the Rams. I was in an airport in Nashville during that game, across from a Packer fan.
Well, all I'll say about the Packers is, like, what Jordan Love are you going to get?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, gosh, I'm just watching him, and sometimes he looks like the reincarnation of Joe Montana, you know, the reincarnation, or more Steve Young with the athletic ability. And other times he looks like a bust, a complete bust. Like, what are you doing on that interception? I mean, you got hit. You didn't even see that guy coming to your blind side. And it's like, gosh, will the real Jordan Love please stand up? Because you need more consistency than that. You can't throw pick sixes in every game and win. Not ones like that. I mean, that was like...
Here's your on-the-spot trivia question, Russ. Which team in the NFC North has allowed the fewest points so far this season?
Bears.
The Bears. By 1 point. The Minnesota Vikings have allowed 86 and the Bears have allowed 85.
Okay.
And those are the two highest. The Green Bay Packers have allowed 108. And the Lions, I didn't add it up because it doesn't matter. Darcy Maville is in the house. What's up, Darcy? Detroit Darcy says, I'd be honored to rep. What's going on Wednesday at 7:50? I don't know what that means. Is there something going on Wednesdays? You got a show? Is he pumping his show on our show? We'll pump your show, Darcy. Oh, as usual, he's talking to you and not me. It's my show. Bye. Is there something going on Wednesday?
I mean, that's when, if he's going to be able to get John McEnroe, that's usually when that is at 7:50. But we'll see. We'll promote it right, Darcy. But Darcy, I always have to try to help Darcy out with communication things. It's like, hey, hit me up in Messenger. Like, don't ask me during the broadcast. We'll work on it. Actually, I'm gonna have a show tomorrow in the morning. I'll rep it. So give me the information, Darcy. Send it to the messenger. The information, and I might even be able to make a graphic, and I'll promote it for you. How's that sound, buddy? All right.
There you go. There you
How
go.
about them Tigers, man?
Tigers, baby. 1-1 in the
3-0.
series, coming back to Comerica.
Dude, how cool was that? Let's be real. Let's be have a real moment with everybody right here. We were in pre-production before, and we had the game going on in the background, and we like kind of witnessed this right as we were coming onto the stream here. How cool was that to be at 0-0 and all of a sudden just see him take that top off of that pitch and, you know, hit it over. There you go. All of a sudden it's 3-0 after it's been 0-0 the whole damn game. There was nothing, nada. Scooble, 3 hits. You ain't getting jack shit.
Kudos to Bo Brisky. Kudos to Bo
ninth.
Brisky coming in and shutting the door.
How huge is that? I mean, is this the hottest team in baseball? If they take out the Indians, all bets are off, man. You can't. I mean, that's like taking the head off the snake. That means they could go and win it all at that point. They can beat Cleveland. Cleveland's got like the best pitching lineup, you know, from the bullpen on. That's awesome that they did that against the best players. You know, that was their guy. The 3-run homer guy, that's supposed to be their super dude. It's supposed to be like Rivera. No. Yeah. Whatever. Like, is Kerry Carpenter's like, I don't know. Who? So, yeah. That guy's supposed to be pretty good, huh? Man, lucky me. 3-run shot.
Time to sign off now. Say goodbye to everyone. Thanks, everyone, for watching, of course. Thanks for being in the chat. Thanks for watching the live on the recorded version as well. We're back here again at 7 p.m. every Monday night. Hopefully next Monday we're talking about a Lions in Dallas victory. Thanks, everyone, for being on the show tonight and giving us your opinion. For Russell Wayne and all of us here at the Villain Squad, I'm Main Event Mike, saying God bless each and every one of you. Peace out.
Hey, yo, the lies told that you never make it. Hopeless, so it seems. Eyes closed, canvas open wide to embrace your dreams. Sometimes you gotta take a loss just to get the win. Like Lysosin was popping in like oxygen when boxes win. Focus on the mental, never lose like smooth instrumental. Better choose on the move in a pinto. Choose what I get to, never lose smooth on the move, but it's simple. Never give up and we winning it, maybe. We just keep winning, we conquering daily. Envision that pay me, it's never the sway me. Indigenous, maybe we winning is crazy. Your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, it's your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, it's your opportunity, your opportunity.